Hey, what's up guys? Sir Emanon here, back with another episode of Road to 1000 Dueling Book Rating, and we actually have two duels to showcase this episode. The reason being that this first one is technically a full match that was completed with a result, but it really wasn't all that entertaining, and I think I can get through the commentary in about like 3 to 4 minutes. So yeah, I'm playing Lunalight Orcust once again, and I am up against not Alistair, Alistair.deck basically, but it's Invoked. And then the second deck I'm up against is going to be Pendulum Magician, so we'll just go ahead and dive on in right here. So he wins a die roll and he chooses to go first, but he just ends up passing, even though he has a terraforming, so he could do like Search Meltdown and like maybe end it on Makaba. But I don't know, I don't really think Invoked typically tries to go first, especially if he's playing this many hand traps and he's main decking Mind Control. So interesting choice in his end, but we decided to try and take full advantage of that. So we normal summon Kaleido Chick. Our hand's really good. We are gonna dump the Martin, and he decides to Ghost Ogre here. It's fine because we have Perfume, so we're gonna bring back the Chick, send a Emerald Bird, and then our Perfume is going to dump the Zephyrs, but that gets hit with the Ash. So now we have to try and establish some sort of board presence, but we can probably OTK as long as he doesn't have any other disruption, which he doesn't. He hits the Snake, that's fine. But off the Nessie, he hits the Nightmare, which is really good. So at this point, I decided to go ahead and use Zephyrs just to see what else I can get. I'm pretty sure I don't even need Tiger at this point to OTK now that I have Nightmare and Grave, but just gonna try and see what we can dig for. And what do you know, we get Tiger anyway, so pretty good series of events here for us. I'm gonna use the Nightmare to dump Harp to get Symbol, and then make a Galatea, and then I believe as soon as I summon the Borer Sword, he just concedes game 1. Yeah, as soon as I declare Symbol, that is. But yeah, so moving on swiftly into game 2 here, he decides to go first again, which is pretty interesting, and he has Nibiru too, so it's like, with all these going second cards, I feel like he should be blinding second, but I mean, his call, I guess. So he goes and searches for an Alistair off the Meltdown. Normal summons it, grabs an Invocation. He already has another Alistair and an Invocation, but it just passes. So like, without really any way to make anything, like he could, I guess, use Nibiru to make Makaba, but I mean, I guess his thought was to try and use Nibiru, like, obviously to try and break my board. But yeah, he basically isn't really accomplishing much on his turn. Like, he could have just had these two same disruptions, but without giving me the extra draw and the battle phase too. But he lets my Rhoda go through. These are some kind of old games, so I was like still playing like Rhoda and stuff. And you'll see, especially in the next game with some of my side choices. But yeah, he ashes. I have Called by the Grave, and that's like definitely the end of the game there. I can search the Tiger off the Tenki, and then basically just go in. His Nibiru is going to be completely nullified by my my Azathoth play, so like, I don't even need to search Serenade, I don't think. I just am able to straight up OTK here through his Alistair, no problem. Yeah, and I was still playing Cerberus in this build too, so that's how you know it's on the older side of things. But yeah, as soon as I go into the Orcust combo, he just scoops there. So that's why this isn't going to be the end of the video. We are going to do another gameplay just in a bit here. See you in the next one. Alright guys, welcome back. So this is the second game against Pendulum Magician, like I said earlier. So this one is going to have a bit more gameplay, but not really actually all that much, because it's the Pendulum matchup, so it's pretty dependent on who goes first and who can set up and stuff. So our hand is actually not the greatest. I was main decking Twin Twister still in this build, so yeah, definitely was testing around. I believe this might have been even before YCS Niagara, because I cut Twin Twister from the main deck by Niagara, but yeah, he goes in Scale Servant, scales the Curtain Raiser, normal summons Dark Worm. He already has Gate 0 in his hand. I feel that pain. See my last video. So he makes Electromite. I don't have any responses to this. He scales up his Servant and adds back the Harmonizing. He draws into an Upstart, and then Upstart draws into a Jackal King, which is kind of unfortunate because that's typically what you would want to summon off your Servant. You could have argued that maybe he would have or should have scaled like Harmonizing to get the third counter first, but like maybe he could have drawn a high scale that wasn't Harmonizing so you can Pendulum summon it. So I mean, it was kind of a 50-50 toss up for him there. And I kind of understand where he's coming from by using Upstart first. But like the chances of him drawing Jackal King in 33 cards is pretty low. So I guess that's kind of just bad luck. But he goes ahead and Pendulum summons here. He pen summons 4. Then he goes into the Guard Dragon play. Goes LP, Triple Burst, Destrudo into Agripane for Vortex. Then he makes the Hieratic Seal. And there's something pretty heads up here. He goes ahead and uses Destrudo on the Jackal King, but instead of linking away the Jackal King and the Destrudo for Dragster, he uses the Gate 0 and the Destrudo for a Borreload Savage. So that was a pretty cool play. And then he uses the Servant here to bring out Mighty Master, and both of them have a counter. So if I play any spells, which my hand is very spell heavy, his Jackal King is going to be hit with half negates. He has negates with Endymion, and he has 2 more, and he has a bounce. So definitely not looking the best for us. And we draw a brick for turn, so I just decide to scoop it up without showing him what I'm playing. So next game, it's game 2, and it's going to be pretty much the same, spoiler alert, but just on the other side of things. He blindsides evenly matched just for going second, which, you know, I guess is generally a safe side, but, you know, since we have a way to stop it, it's like fine for us. So we go ahead and go check to dump bird, and we drew the Martin, so we're going to try and get some extra pluses here. Draw another Clouded Chick, but that's like fine. We're able to make the Nyarla into Azathoth. I don't know why I didn't opt to use Nyarla there. Maybe I was playing around Ghost Ogre. Like, I was definitely afraid of Ghost Ogre around this time. So that could have been the reason why. But in the end, I actually didn't end up needing the extra summons, so I guess it was okay. So yeah, we go ahead and scale the Clouded Chick, go into our Phoenix, into the Mermaid, and pitch the Jackalope. 3+. And then we're able to go into our Orcust play, and we haven't used Martin in grave yet. So we also have, I believe, Serenade Dance chilling in our grave, yeah. So we're able to go for the Force Trick Slime, where we search the Zephyrs and then pitch it off of the Serenade Dance. And here, like, this is when I started to test with the White Rabbit. I've since cut it from my build, but I did definitely appreciate it at Niagara. It was okay. But we're going to use Serenade Dance to pitch the Zephyrs to summon a Clouded Chick from the deck. So we can go for a rank 4 play on top of all of this, since we have the Zephyrs engraved still. So we go for Nightmare, because Nightmare is very, very nice against Pendulum, and it's a lot better than Dweller. We go ahead and use the Zephyrs, and we still have an extra monster, so we can make a 3-mat Appaloosa. I'm like really back and forth in Appaloosa. Like, I kind of want to cut it, but in situations like this, it's really nice to have just as, like, you know, extra ways to stop Pendulum from entirely popping off. But like, all the time, it's like kind of redundant, so I'm like really on the fence about it. Like, I could have definitely gone for like a rank 4 play if I wanted to, because I had an extra Foolish Burial Goods in my hand. So like, I could have searched another Clouded Chick, or not a Clouded Chick, sorry, I could have pitched this Clouded Chick to search a Tiger, and then make another level 4, so that way I could have gone for like the you know, double Galatea play with Dingirsu, but also get another rank 4 on top of it if I wanted to, for like Tornado Dragon if I chose to do that. Reasons for cutting Appaloosa are just for space, obviously, because like, it's very tight and you want to play a lot of things. Like, you know, I wasn't playing the Griffin combo in the main deck in this build, so like, I cut Cerberus for it. I might want to put Cerberus back in. Darubidal is a good choice. Tiger King is also very good. Like, there's a lot of very nice cards that you want to play, but unfortunately there is no room. Long Goose is another good example. So we have Crescendo, we have Evil Swarm Nightmare, and Appaloosa, as well as Dingirsu protecting our board. So even if he goes evenly matched, he knows I'm just going to negate it, and he doesn't have a battle phase, so he just decides to forsake it and go for his normal plays. I decided that Duelist Alliance and the Pendulum Call is fine. Like, I really want to hold the Crescendo for something that's really important, just in case it's like a blowout card or like a Dark Ruler no more headed my way. So like, I don't really care even about the Pendulum Call pitching Dark Worm if that's a thing. Like, realistically, it's gonna involve him summoning a lot of monsters, and I have Evil Swarm Nightmare to back it up. Now he goes and summons a Curtain Raiser from the scale. I choose not to book it. I'm just gonna wait until later summons so that he can't go into Electromite afterward. But like just one singular Curtain Raiser isn't going to spell the end of times for me. Like yeah, he can normal summon and then make Electromite that way, but like I can just negate the Electromite and that's fine. Like, and then I can just reserve the Nightmare for the actual Pendulum summon, in which case every single Pendulum summon monster gets booked, which is insane. But he goes into battle phase because Curtain Raiser is 2200 since it's his only monster. And he tries to kill my Galatea, but it can't be killed in battle anyway. But even if he went to try and kill my Nightmare, I had Dingirsu to protect it. So I'm not entirely sure the motivation behind this play. I think maybe he just forgot that Dingirsu and Galatea both have protection. So he just decides to scoop it up right there. Not even trying to play out his hand. So he goes first, and you can see we got a Vanity's Fiend, but our hand's also insane. So we have a Gamma and a Dark Ruler no more, which is a card I was siding at the time. Again, I've since cut this card, but it's a card that you might want to consider playing if you are expecting like Floodgate type monsters or just big boards that don't really put up a lot of spell and trap card like disruptors. So it definitely is a solid card, as everybody knows, but I just was tending away from it as I tested a bit more and more. But anyway, he goes and scales the Curtain Raiser, and he then scales Time Gazer, or sorry, Chronograph to get Time Gazer, and he goes for an Electromite, and I think he's probably gonna like go for a Dark Worm or something, but I have the Gamma for the Electromite. So Negate and Destroy gets rid of the Link Zones, really good, and we're able to not really worry too much about the board he's gonna put up because we have Dark Ruler no more. He pen calls for a Dragon Caller and a Black Fang. So he's going to scale Pendulum Summon 1 and then Tribute Summon for Vanity's Fiend. And normally this would actually spell game because this deck has very little outs to it. And like no main deck outs, but side deck it's kind of like if you play Dark Ruler and Impermanence or something like that. But I happen to draw the Dark Ruler, and my hand is Trick Tiger, so it's just insane. As soon as I reveal Dark Ruler, he actually just scoops before I even get the chance to, do anything, because like I couldn't OTK this turn. Remember, Dark Ruler prevents you from doing damage, so like the best I would have done was clear his Vanity's Fiend. They say Vanity's Ruler, Vanity's Fiend. Clear his Vanity's Fiend, clear his Scales, and then try and set up with like Crescendo and stuff, and then that would pretty much spell the end of the game. I mean, I couldn't really clear Scales with like Tornado too much. Maybe I could like set it up so I could do it on his draw phase, so maybe like send Black Fang with Dingirsu, and then scale or pop his Dragon Caller with the Tornado Dragon, and then beat over the Vanity's Fiend, and then have Crescendo to negate the whatever he draws for turn, which he revealed was another Pendulum Call, so it was dead anyway. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe for more informative Yu-Gi-Oh content similar to this style of video. If you want to, you can follow me on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. All 3 links are going to be in the description as always. And once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys!